I've been asked this week, by someone going, "Oh, I assume all your clients are businesses, and you don't really deal with people." But what I think everyone forgets is no matter how many millions, how many zeros, how big a business is, there's always people. There is always an owner. There's always a CEO. There are always people, and that's what we do. We're talking to the people, regardless of the size of the business, or whether it's a publicly listed company, or whether it is your tradie. There's always a person.
Yeah, there's always a person. I think that, when they get on, when it's a smaller one or someone on their own or something, then you do have that real personal relationship. When it gets to like a big company and, there's all these lawyers and accountants and CEOs and directors and, someone's dropped the ball. Everyone's probably dropped the ball. Everyone's pointing the fingers. I always end up being about 25 years younger than everyone else, so everyone tries to point the finger at me. But they're interesting. They're always interesting as well. Sometimes I have to bring you in to fight my corner for me.
Yeah, yeah. And a big part of that is we are so specialized. So we're not treading on anyone's toes. The lawyers can do their things, the accountants can do their things, a funder can do their things, and we're happy to just stick in our little lane, fix our little bit using the expertise. And I often say we work in parallel with all of those other people that you mentioned, to get the client to where they need to be at the end of the day, which
Mhm.
I think is a really nice thing about our business, is that we're not, like I said, treading on toes. We're not competing for work. We do our thing. You mentioned we do have some clients that are stay around for a bit longer, but most clients are in and out between 4 and 6 weeks. They're fixed. They can breathe. They can sleep, and then they can get on with running their business.
Yeah, no, 100%. I see us sort of like the last port of call in the solvency space before people have to sort of look at insolvency. Um, so we're just, very focused on that. And it's nice to be able to try and, work with the funders when they need sort of a bit of money or work with the accountants when the lodgements aren't getting done quite right or stuff like that. And um,
Yeah.
also, just to try and provide kind of as much as we can, just understanding that our remit is very narrow and very specialized. So when the client, we see that they need other stuff, to have a bit more of a holistic view of what they need, and to try and work with other people in that respect.
What's the biggest debt you've been looking after?
Oh, well, they get up into the millions and millions, don't they? And I think like maybe 14 million or something, but it's all relative to the turnover as well, sort of what can be achieved. So uh, yeah, when they get really big and you're dealing with sort of CEOs and external accountants and stuff, it
Yeah.
all gets a bit interesting at that point.
Yeah. As you would know, the earlier we get involved, the easier it is, if easy is a word, for you and the team to get the best possible arrangements for clients.
Yeah, no, honestly, I couldn't agree more. It's like if people could come to us after one bass that they can't pay, and just getting something where just be really proactive about it, then there is a lot of scope to work with the ATO, rather than sort of just ignoring their calls for years and just finding that the situation's blown way out of control. So yeah, I couldn't agree more. But yeah, obviously in reality, that's not usually the case.
Do you have any hot tips, or one or two top tips that if people were in debt, or find themselves in debt, or they're watching this, they've Googled ATO debt, or I need help or debt reduction, and it's the middle of the night and they're watching us right now,
Mm.
completely stressed and not sleeping. Do you have any tips around that from doing this all day, every day, about what their next steps, what they should be doing, and how we can actually help?
Yeah, I think sort of speaking to the ATO is better than not speaking to the ATO for sure. Um, Burying your head in the sand's just going to make it worse, because the ATO just they do sort of count up times that they've called you, and then they will start to sort of escalate. Even when you have a court date, until you actually are in court, there's always a way back, and there's always a payment plan to be had, even if you have millions of dollars of debt. So there's always an option. It's always worth speaking to them, or getting someone to speak to them on your behalf.
The outcomes that you've achieved for people that have thought there was absolutely no hope. are quite incredible. And the amount of businesses, we should do some stats. I haven't added it up. I don't know whether you've done any of these stats of how many businesses you've saved over your time at Tax Assure, but that I think would be a cool stat to have a look at, and a lovely thing for you. And exactly right, that there is hope for people, even if they haven't been able to achieve it, if they've been told they have to sell their house, or they've been told they won't get a payment plan in a particular way. I probably would say 4 out of 5 people that you help have already been told no, or have been told that nothing can be done.
Yeah,
And when we come in with the expertise that you were just mentioning, we can get different outcomes.
I think that's true, and I think I think a big thing at the moment, they're sending out these credit default letters, which are crippling people really. So yeah, to be able to get into a payment plan, come back from there, get that off your file, improve your credit rating, and then that opens up options for borrowing or just running lines of trade credit. So stuff like that, just sort of simple solutions to crippling problems, and just how a small bit of work can make someone's situation a lot better. I think that that's just a big thing of sort of speaking to the ATO and just addressing the problem and realizing that these things that are keeping you up at night are actually resolvable.